Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Beautiful hearts, thank you for joining us in another episode in this Quantum Conversation Summit Series, Energy Healing and Well-Being. Today, we are with an intuitive healer who is here to talk about the mechanics of your light body and activating the 12D shield. What's that all about? Well, it's a foundational practice of integration and ascension. Gina Lobito is an energy intuitive and a transformational coach, and she's here to share more on this topic. Hi, Gina. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you, Loren. Hello, and hello to everyone out there. It is truly an honor to be here. My soul is lighting up for this conversation that I get excited about. Ascension, growth, grounding, and being in our bodies.
And also connecting to source. That's really, as you were sharing earlier, that we each need to rebuild this connection to source. And that's the work that you do by being grounded and anchoring in higher frequencies. So as we get started to talk about the mechanics of the light body, that's beautiful. Can you share just a little bit about your story of how you awoke to this field of work that you're doing now?
Oh, absolutely. Where looking back, it started a long time ago, right? And having different heart openings and things. But as I stepped further into it, really putting me on this trajectory, a dear friend of mine had passed away. And the events that followed that really, I realized, like, I do not want to be in a world that lacked compassion. And so around this time, I was already attending drum circles and was learning about the medicine wheel. And I didn't realize how much I was learning through vibrational healing, coming into oneness of the circle, being in stillness and holding space for myself and others, and all these beautiful things that come with, I feel, learning how to evolve and be witness to your own growth and inner ascension. So that led me into his passing, led me into body work, massage and healing arts. And the only school that would come up was this school called Diamond Light. And it was in San Anselmo. I'm in the Bay Area, and I would drive 3 days a week, about a little over an hour to go to school. And what I liked about this school, it was spiritually based. So everyone was connecting with their inner state first, their inner being first, and then letting go of their experiences as we prepared to work on, well, in that case, each other, but for clients, for their highest good. But what I really enjoyed was the meditative practice, the energetics of the body, because they would also bring in Barbara Brennan's work, for those of you familiar with her, in the energy and light body. And sound and toning through our voice. I had no idea at the time it would take me to where I am right now. And as I worked with clients and still do with massage, I automatically was putting crystals on the body or creating crystal grids under the table and setting intention for that client. But what led to that was I was having dreams. I started to have more activity in my dream state. And then I was drawn to a little book called Saint Germain, right? So it's Ascended Master Teacher by Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Some of you are probably familiar with her. And then I became aware of the color spectrum and became more aware of our chakra system and how that relates to the energetic flow within our body. And that system, that map, if you will, and you may see me look off to the right because my notes are off to the right. it's part of our light body. It's part of our light body. And so my education and experience, because if we're talking about ascension, at least through my eyes, it's an experiential process of an inner evolution as we're descending down our higher aspect, our I am presence, or God self, whatever term you want to use for it is totally fine. And so I know some of this may not resonate with everyone, and that's totally fine. This is about you being in your sovereignty. And so my goal here is to support people, if they wish, to work with their light body more and the energetics. This tool is a spiritually based practice. I like to call it a human practice because we're all designed in our sacred geometry and energetics to support you in your inner ascension, your allowance and reconnection and building, because you have to build your light body. Nobody can do this for you. We are literally reconnecting our umbilical cord to source. Because all of us came in under a matrix that controlled us. It controlled us right down from our root chakra, right? And even on a cellular level, where we come in through the tailbone, right? A lot of people are familiar with the Kundalini energy being harnessed in the tailbone. Well, there's a lot of energetic components that make up that energy. It's not just one energy. It's this whole cellular body. Like it's a triad of energy that work together. So you have 3 triads that are woven together, right? Energy weaves together, it spirals up. Okay. When we are disconnected from our direct connection to source, or at least at this point, our 12-dimensional self, which you connect into that through the core of the earth. If we can't make that connection, then all of us have been connecting to things that exist within the astral plane and within this old construct matrix that led everyone through fear, controlled everyone through fear, right? So as we build our reconnection to our source energy, our higher self, this is yourself, your individualization, we begin to break free from that matrix, from feeling victimized, from living a place of disempowerment. We begin to move with trust, self-empowerment, where you're literally rebuilding your energetic foundation, your root. It's some people refer to it as your tribal energy, right? Your sense of safety. As all of us move into that 5th dimensional way of being and more through our choices, you feel safer in life. It doesn't matter if your world around you is falling apart. You're stepping through it with more trust and safety in your actions, through your intuition, through your direct connection, through your higher self, right? So that too is in stages, right? Because you bring in like that Holy Spirit energy, your Christ consciousness energies, and these are qualities and energies, okay? So I really encourage people, if using the word Christ and you're equating it to a person and that's causing you to contract, I invite you to really breathe right now and just relax your body and let go and remember, we're talking about energy that exists within you, it exists within me, everyone. But it's at your discretion when you choose to step further into anchoring and activating that energy within you. And part of this 12-dimensional shield is the Merkaba symbol. For those of you that are not familiar with that symbol, I'll go ahead and write it out, because I do better now on kind of actively doing things. I need to be in motion more than ever. So this is just a little dimensional piece, right? That's the Merkaba symbol. It holds this is light code. Sacred geometry holds light codes in it. So if you're thinking about and considering what I referenced before, our 8 primary cells in the root that came into us at conception, that holds our blueprint energy that we came in on a soul level. Okay, each of us have a different soul imprint. So when you connect to your 12-dimensional self, your higher aspects get to come in, right? And so many of us now are letting go of old, I'll say contractual agreements that no longer serve us. That is stepping into your God sovereignty as well. You're like, wait, I don't need this to ascend anymore. I don't need to continue to repeat to have an experience to be align in my God sovereignty, right? And I don't have to, life doesn't have to be difficult anymore. That's an old way of being. When you're moving through love, you're moving with trust and your intuition, it's easier. You're learning part of the 12D shields, you're learning how to discern energy as your emotional, mental, and physical fields, right? As fields of energy. For those of, if I just draw just a little stick figure, and we can just kind of depict these outer areas. Those are fields of energy, for lack of a picture. But just to give you a sense, okay, we have fields of energy that radiate around us, right? Emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. So as you work with your 12-dimensional shield, you begin to be able to discern the energies within your field with more ease, because it can be confusing because you're becoming hyper sensory. You as all of us are evolving, we become more hyper sensitive in what's happening around us. So those of us that are sometimes unaware, how does that show up? It can show up as anxiety. It can show as like, I don't know why I'm so afraid. All this worry can happen. Your thyroid, your hormones can get out of whack, right? Because all of this is also upgrading, right? Because when you're working with ascension, this is a little farther off top, not off topic, but more advanced in what we're going to talk about today. But your higher heart is directly related to one of your glands, right? Your thymus gland, your metabolism, right? So it's not uncommon for us people with, we're seeing more issues with like thyroid and metabolic stuff, right? Because our body is upgrading. We are taking in a high frequency light every day that's directly associated with the ascension of the earth. So for us to allow that process to happen more smoothly for us, for those that are willing and recognizing, oh, wait, I am too growing. My soul's expanding. My heart is expanding. You begin to connect with your 12-dimensional shielding. And that has many components. So back to,
Let's back up. For those who may not be familiar, that could be a new term, 12-dimensional shield. And you also mentioned 12D self.
Yes.
How to work with your light body, how to, yes, reconnect through the core of the earth, but to work on your light body. So can you share the light body and how that's related to the 12th dimensional self, and then what the shield is?
Yeah, I'm going to write some notes. Light body,
Yes.
12D self, and what
how
the
to work
shield
with our
is.
light body.
Yeah.
Be an awareness, because that light body is the other realms of existence, our multidimensionality, right? And so an awareness of our multidimensionality, an awareness of the energy that you're talking about. And I find it fascinating that you say it's crucial that we connect to the core of the earth. That's what we're doing. Without that, we cannot step into our 12D self. So share more on this.
Yeah.
The self.
Yeah, because then that also assists on opening up your higher chakras as well, which is very key, especially the ninth and the higher heart. Those are key components to ascension. But that word, I don't want to go too far into that because it'll move us away from where I feel people just need a basic understanding of what you just asked me, right? So to keep the light body simple, because I see it as a very infinite template or mechanism. So keeping it with the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual fields. Those are the four primary fields we talk about. So when I say bodies or body, just know I'm referring to the entire complex itself: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, because you cannot impact one without impacting the others. They're directly related. So the shield I want to talk about first. As far as the Merkaba, we're coming back to the Merkaba because that is the key code, the light code that you build the shield itself. It can also be called the Maharata shield. And you want to visualize, because this is where your third eye comes into play. We've recently had a big expansion in our third eye, our eye of God, okay, our inner sight. Emerald ray, for those of you that work with the light rays, green ray. But you'll notice it's connected, heart and third eye. There's no separation of color, okay? The Christ consciousness exists within the Star of David, the six-pointed star. So the Merkaba is the six-pointed star. And now the Merkaba itself, we can talk about that all day long, a whole nother class, but we're going to just keep it simple, that it's holding your 12-dimensional blueprint inside it, that light code. So you, yourself, me, all of us, you can begin to work with that, imagining it in the plane in the back of your forehead, or really in the center of your eye or your brain, pineal gland. Okay, this is where our brain comes into play. But I still want to just keep it simple, okay, because there's a lot of other components that happen with that. But you can begin by using your imagination and visualization. That is very key for all of us. Imagination, visualization. I'm thinking of SpongeBob SquarePants for some reason. Imagination. Because when we imagine, we have fun, we have play, we have creativity, we have inventions, right? Because this too is also, the Merkaba is also about harmonizing your masculine and feminine energies or polarities within you, that every single person has those principles. The masculine and feminine, it's a star tetrahedron if you look at it in a three-dimensional way, right? So you have the male aspect and then the female aspect within the self. It's a gender principle, okay? But it holds our 12-dimensional blueprint. This sacred light code holds our 12-dimensional blueprint, your higher self blueprint, your I am presence, whichever term you want to call it. That's what it holds. Okay. So when you're working with this, you're also working with laws of polarity, universal law of polarity, the universal law of gender, because for creation, you have to have the masculine and feminine principles within yourself to create. This is also unity consciousness into oneness. It's a unifying symbol where you are unifying with your higher self. Your divine energy descends down into your physical body through these mechanisms. So as you visualize that sacred light code, the Merkaba, you're going to visualize it, and we'll take you through the small meditation later. You're going to visualize it in your mind's eye, and you're going to bring it down through your light column. So this is where we start to go into another aspect of the light body, because this is our light body helps keep us vital. It brings us the source energy. It feeds our organs through the chakras, through our central nervous system, through our spinal column. Okay. all the way down into the roots again, right? What holds that energy, right? That Kundalini energy, our 8 primary cells. Like we can go back into science and go into the cellular makeup for those of you that like the science piece. But you're visualizing that go through every single column or through your light column, down through each chakra. Whether you know about it or not, just visualizing it going through the center of your body, down through the perineum between your legs. You're going to visualize it go down into the core of the earth. The core of the earth holds it's the 13th chakra. That holds your 12-dimensional blueprint in that center. So you're reconnecting on the earth plane. You're on the earth plane. Excuse me, I hit some stuff. You're reconnecting on the earth plane to your higher self that exists in the earth. That information is always there. And you must remember, and this might be big for some people, it took me a while to wrap my head around this when I heard someone say it. We were already ascended once. We all know how to do this. So when you do that and you go to because the earth, just like your body, holds memory. So that code, as you unlock it by connecting with it regularly, because it's something you have to connect with it again and again and again. You visualize again it expanding in the core of the earth. In the core of the earth, you visualize that shield expanding, that Merkaba expanding. And once you feel comfortable, you visualize it come back up into your body. Right? So when we're doing that, I realize this, when we're connecting to the earth template like that, that's holding our information, the way I saw it, you may see it differently. It's supporting the ascension of the earth in her 5D ascension and above. Because then all of a sudden we're all communicating together and her consciousness begins to waken up. We're directly connected to earth consciousness or the effects of the earth. So energetically, we start to wake up. So now we're participating and co-creating from this place. Our souls are taking us here. And then as you're embodying your soul, your I am present, it becomes more easy. Like, oh yeah, okay, yes, I'm going to ground. This is where grounding really comes into play. This is part of grounding. It's part of the mechanism to ground. So that shield takes its place and you come up through that next chakra, the 12th chakra, the earth star. That is where your shield comes into play. So you take the energy that you just activated, that blueprint that is yours, that the earth has been holding for you, because it's also connecting with the cosmic piece, your cosmic self. And you expand it, and it sits in a shield at the earth star chakra. And then you begin to picture that pale blue light, and then you begin to picture a pillar of light, a column of light coming up around your body about 4 feet in diameter. And you do the same thing as it goes through, and you do the same thing. You create that same shield above your head, outside of the body at the 14th chakra. Same symbol code, and then you lock it in, and that locks you into your pillar of light. Okay. Are you following me at this point? Do you have any questions, Lauren? So for those of you that are visual, I'll do a rudimentary drawing just so you have a visual, because visuals are wonderful and I like to draw more than ever now. Okay, so we'll have our little stick figure All right. So there you are, right? You're in the middle of your pillar of light. This is the Maharata shield, or you can just call it your disc or platform, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. You must build this platform. You must build this pillar of light around you. Some of you might be familiar with that term, pillar of light. Okay, it's pale and silver. It's in the older esoteric teachings, right? But now it's time to take it further and recognize, oh wait, this is my sacred design. This is my design to bring in and it's a union code. You're merging with your divine self. You're stabilizing your masculine and feminine principle within the self, your qualities, your masculine and feminine qualities within the self. Okay, by connecting to this code. So below, just to give us some more space on my little whiteboard. And I'm going to draw the base shield. Okay, you can call it the base shield. And then, so below the base shield, right, because we're going to have a line. We'll get to that line in a second. And I'm going to draw Earth, just so you have a sense of what it kind of does, right? So there's the base shield. That's the bottom of your pillar of light. It's your Earth Star chakra. It does a lot of other things, but we're just going to keep it here. You're connecting. You went down to Earth, connecting with your 12-dimensional coding, and you're bringing it back up for protection. Okay, you're creating a protective field around you. And I would pose this question to those of you, to myself, to all of us. Why would you want to protect yourself? And I'm just going to pause so you can sit there and think about that. Okay. Why would you want to protect yourself and learn how to do this? When we go back to how we all came in to incarnation, already under a matrix that was designed to control you, manipulate you emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. You're connecting to an astral plane that all of us thought we were connecting to the real, say, archangels, right? Or the real ascended masters, the true essence. This is all of us, and we all learn. Okay, we've all learned, because I had my own experience why I left certain things. I'm like, this didn't feel right anymore. And recognized now with more clarity, because everything keeps unfolding and opening up, like, oh, we were not connecting to the true source energy, right? So as you connect to this, you begin to protect your own energy. You're connecting straight to your authenticity, your true self. All the things that you've been connecting with begin to not feel so good. You're going to feel it in your body. You're going to feel the contraction. This is where your light body really comes into play in discerning. You're going to be like, that doesn't feel the same way, because you're changing. You're having an inner evolution. Your root chakra is changing in vibration and color. So will your solar plexus, your sacral, because they work as a unit. Everything works in a triad unit, at least as far as I know. Okay. How you perceive the world. So as you're breaking down and coming into a new way of being, you are literally, as you connect to this over and over again, dissolving your relationship and your perceptions into the existing matrix that we all grew up in. That's very controlling. So, and then you're recognizing, oh, my heart's opening up more. I can feel and see more, because your higher sensory perceptions kicking in, because there's no more interference or less interference to your divine connection. Okay. So now do you have any questions? Because we're going to move into a different mechanism.
It's wonderful how you've explained the importance of connecting to Gaia. We hear that all the time, but now this is the mechanics of it. And the protection, there are some that would say, We don't need protection anymore. However, if we're not connected to Gaia in this way, if we're not working with our pillar of light, then we're going to be still under the influence of the matrix and other entities and energies. We could say energies, entities, that are going to either feed off us and keep us in fear until we rebuild this connection to source. So am I correct there in saying that's why we need the 12D shield? Because it's keeping us in our energy, true to our energy. Is that
That's how I would interpret it. Yes. That's how I would interpret it, because you're learning how to discern your authenticity, your true connection to something that is not at that vibrational state. Now, I want to re-emphasize that you have to build this. It's not something that's built overnight. It's taken me 10, 12 years to get to where I'm at this point. And someone else might be different. Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interject. I'm so excited because the building it, I can hear this question, how do you build it? And it goes back to what you said about imagination and visualization.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes, right? That's the building of it.
That's the building of it. And you have to, this is where that creator energy comes in. So there's that Elohim aspect within us. Okay, your creator being is repetition, right? There's 7 key points that that support you in your creations. You have to be consistent. You have to hold the divine, like the purity of what you're doing. You have to hold it in love. Hold the perception of it, and be at peace, right? So there's I have this pinned on my Instagram post. It's the 7 things of the Elohim that they've given us, 7 activities. So feel free to go to Soul Inspired Reflections on my Instagram, see what's pinned there, and it's the 7 activities given to us by the Elohim of creation. 7 activities. And I'm looking back at my own practices, and as I've evolved, that I feel that remains true. The consistency, holding it with peace and its divinity and all these other things. So just go there, find that, write it down for yourself. Write it down. And then begin to practice it as you work with really anything you do, but as you work with their 12 dimensioning shielding. Are you consistent? Are you doing it every day? Do you believe it? Right? Because if you don't believe it, you're gonna get exactly what you put in, right? Because everything, we give it power. This is about power, and this is about connecting to your personal power and energetics. And then you begin to step further into illuminating the truth about yourself, which also illuminates the truth about this world. It illuminates the truth about the universe. It keeps going into the macrocosm. But we are going to bring it back into the micro, because what is in one is in the whole. So coming back to yourself, when you tend to your own garden, you begin to set yourself free. You become God, sovereign, and free. That's your threefold flame. Okay. And most of us, I'll find, that are in that divine blueprint of that divine spark. We've learned it as the indigo, the gold, and the pink. As you evolve, the 13th chakra, the earth star, it holds that blue ray in aquamarine. So that's the mother arc energy we're connecting to in the earth star. Okay, but it's all cosmic energy. Okay, so remember, we're cosmic, we're planets. We're literally part of the universal system, right? So we're going to move into another piece of the mechanics of this, because there's so much to cover, and I want to be mindful of our time and at least touch on things that I didn't. So just a quick recap, you're building your base shield, you're bringing up through your column of light, your nervous system, and then you have it at the top, right? Now you're in your pillar of light, all sealed in there. You're learning how to purify it and clean it, through intention, visualization, purpose. Those of you that use the violet flame, you can swirl that within your energetic field. It's going to support you to discern energies that are not yours, right? So, and it becomes, the more you do it, it becomes more and more effortless. Okay. And that's part of ascension, that we live life in an effortless way. You don't have to force it. If you're forcing something, pause, because you got to come back into alignment and listen. So let me see. Okay, so it helps with your physical stabilization, right? So we want to recognize that there's a line called the Hara line. It's your vertical current, okay? It's your vertical current that runs through your body energetically, because we are an energetic system, okay? So I'll go ahead and just do a rudimentary drawing for you, because I find it helpful. And we're going to go right through the center. Okay, so that big blue line, we're going to call that our Hara line. Now, the Hara line can be called the Sushumna. Okay, it runs through the center of the body. This line connects into the tailbone. Okay, which is what? Our 8 cells that we were given at the time of conception, right? Our blueprint, our soul blueprint that we came in with, right? That's unique to each of you. But the Hara current, that energy current, comes from the eye of God. That's the core current. But it's the first level. It's our first level of the eye of God. Because remember, ascension is an infinite process. It's happening within your system as we are descending our higher aspects into physical form in the body. Okay. So some of you might hear me say in body, in power, in soul, because we got to bring it into the body and anchor it through. This this line is important, because as you connect it, it goes all the way down also into the earth, right? Our other 12D, the female, the cosmic mother, our mother principle. But it also, when we do this practice, we're going to connect and visualize that line going into the heart, the cosmic heart of the heavens, the stars, the celestial, right? Some people will refer to Andromeda. I don't know much about Andromeda, but you want to go into this heart of the universe is how I see it. I want to go heart, mind, higher heart, the heart and the sacral, intuitive center, all the way to the heart of the earth. I want to connect all my hearts together. So you're connecting all your hearts together, all your energy together. So I'm going to pause there, because that's a big statement to say that you're connecting with the eye of God. Okay. But it's bringing me back to something we mentioned the multidimensionality of our soul. A little bit, I think, in one of your questions, Loren. So if I'm bringing in my multidimensionality self, the soul, it's many dimensions. So even if you just look at your our human personality or identity, right? Because the earth, it's our 3D identity. Okay. When we start to come into the higher realms, it's our like 12D identity, our I can't think of the proper term right now, but I'm going to do another little drawing. So I'm going to do a lot of little circles here, and then one at the bottom. All right. So this bottom circle, that's just going to represent your personal 3D identity. We're walking around on the earth. Okay. All these up here I'm going to refer to that as all our soul aspects, right? So now all our soul aspects are being funneled down into our individual body. Okay. That's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy, a lot of lifetimes we've lived, right? But you don't have to seek it. You just know that they're just hovering around just to keep it simple above you somewhere, right? And you're just integrating all your aspects, all that soul information, and you're calling it in to the present moment of now, of today, of being fully present. And through the breath, you bring this in. All of this is through the breath, your visualization, imagination through the breath. And you're bringing in your aspects of your infinite aspects of your soul. Now, do you have to do this all at one time? No. And you probably wouldn't even be allowed to, because it's too much energy if you haven't built your pillar of light to handle that much energy, if you're not grounded in. So part of that Hara line, you're grounding into the celestial place, the celestial energy, okay? Because you've got to connect above there. Because if you look at it like if we're wires, cable, if I don't ground that energy, that live cable, that causes harm. You fray at the end. If I touch it, I can get electrocuted, right? Our body's no different. You would implode if all your energy came in to the physical body and you didn't have the stabilization and basically the bandwidth to handle that much energy. Does that make sense? Did I say that clear enough?
Yes, you did. And it's fascinating. And it shows us the steps to take with patience and immaculate awareness. So when we're doing this, if someone experiences something that doesn't feel right, what do we do with that?
Pause,
Pause.
pause, breathe, because is it in through the breath, your holy breath? Re-anchor, come back to your heart, and then you can, if you feel something that's not right in your body, pay attention. This is where your inner awareness comes in. Your body might contract, right? You might need to move, right? Movement helps make room for energy to come in, and it also shakes energy off you. Okay. If something doesn't feel right, I pause and just sit there. If you're feeling another foreign energy, it's universal law that energy has to divulge whether it's of the light. But you have to ask. And you command it. You, me, all of us are learning to command our space. You're commanding your energetic field. You're being in your pillar of light, fully protected. Anything that is not of your divine essence is not allowed in that field, in your field anymore. So this is where on a cellular level, we're having memories. Some people might have past life memories. It's all living in you right now. So you pause and you breathe in your God light. You invoke the violet fire for those of you that work with the violet flame, or you just breathe. Just breathe. You can take that to, because remember, we're integrating. We're not separate from the darkness. We're not separate from any of that. It's all aspects of light. So when we're bringing it back to the self, okay, when you're bringing it back to the self, how are you integrating that into, this is where the alchemy comes in, okay, to the 0 point field. You got to learn how to neutralize your own energy. So number one, pause. Ask. Number two, ask if it's yours. Is this energy mine? And you'll get a yes or no. And some people might not get an answer, and that's okay. It takes practice to recognize what a yes or no is for you. You go into your heart. 3, I would say you do your clearing depending on what it is. Even if it's your energy, you're still going to take it and clear it. You want to neutralize it for yourself. In that you can also ask for higher guidance, right? Not that they do it for you. Show me how to neutralize this, right? Because the way you work with guides will also change. And in my opinion, it needs to change. And you need to go to your higher self first. And then the guides are all mentors to return you to your heart center, to return you to your connection, so you can master the qualities of yourself, right? So it's you want to take it to that 0 point, because this is also about integration. And when you go to that 0 point, it's like that above the solar plexus area, because there's also a cosmic 0 point. Remember, as above and so below. So it's above the solar plexus, below the rib cage is your 0 point fields. And you want to neutralize it there. That's the point of all union. So meaning all of a sudden you have no judgment. There's no emotional trigger. It just feels, oh, it's just what is. You're just in that neutral observer. You were learning that you are that neutral observer for, like, from above, but it's happening within you and about outside of you all at the same time. And you take it to that neutral observer place that you have to practice becoming. So then there's no judgment. There's no emotional attachment. It's not personal. You're in the flow of alchemizing your energy. That it doesn't get into your tissue, then it doesn't become a memory in the cellular level where it distorts your tissue. You can keep and restore the integrity of your cells. Because doing this, you're also going to activate the light of God that exists within every single cell particle of all life within your body. Some people will call it the God particle, right? But I just call it your divine spark. It's your light. Everything has the Merkaba symbol around it. It's the masculine, feminine creation energy. So when I'm igniting and connecting that symbol over and over again within my body and bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, I'm igniting everything in the space within me to be aligned in the light of God, in the frequency, in my golden light, because that is the 14th chakra. I forgot to mention that. The shield that's above the head is the 14th chakra. It's gold. Okay. That works that's another triad, it's the 5th harmonic sphere of the universe. So they talk about music of the spheres. You have these energetic centers that work together. It's the 5th harmonic. And what are we all moving to? 5D. Right? At least that's how I see it. I'm like, oh, 5th harmonic, 5D. Even music, 5 octaves, right? Or the pentatonic scale, which there's many scales, right? But it's the 13th, 14th, and the 15th chakra, which we haven't talked about the 15th, but that holds the male principle in it. But we're talking about some more of the feminine aspect because we're raising our feminine energy that resides within us. Left side of the body. That's where a lot of people have issues, left side of the body, because we've been disconnected from our feminine aspect.
Beautiful. This is such a great introduction, very well presented and full of information. And I want to just share that you are going to be teaching this at a greater level. There is a special offer available that people can check and look at. But the beauty behind this is that this is so deep. And so we've just literally scratched the surface of this. And I know people are going to want to know more. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because there's 2 ways that people can go even deeper in this with you and receive teachings from you. So that's beautiful. But do you want to share with us maybe a 5-minute connection for building that and connecting?
Absolutely. We'll do a brief meditation because we'll connect with our Hara center, right? The navel, we kind of mentioned that a little bit, connects with your, just know these components are all working, even the pranic tube Okay, that's where the breath comes in too, and that exists within the Hara line. And that's the tube we're also all rebuilding, right? And that navel connection, there's a lot of components. We're reconnecting our umbilical cord, where we get our nutrients, you know. And so when we're thinking, think about this, when we kind of bring that energy into the navel area, because our navel chakra holds the 5D frequency, and it works very much in connection with our solar plexus. Okay. So, and that's a direct connection to the earth from the navel. All right. And it supports the planet also. But think about when you eat food, your navel chakra is absorbing energy and feeds it into the body through the energetic centers that run along your chakra cones, your chakra that runs along and connects into your nervous system, your spinal column. And it's feeding that. So think about that as you're doing this, and then just kind of let the images go, and breathe in through the pranic tube, and then just feel it restructuring, rebuilding, going back into its highest blueprints of your body and your connection. Okay. So let's go ahead and put your feet on the ground and sit up straight. And if for some reason you're not ambulatory, just imagine your spinal column in its alignment. And we're going to connect to our breath, and invite you, if you'd wish, to put one hand over your heart, the other over like the navel area, or just below it, the dantian, that ball of energy, and breathe. And exhale. And we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, and you're going to hover at the top for 4, but just follow my lead and breathe in. I'm in breathing and absorbing my divine light. And holding for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and gently exhale all the way out for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and gently hold at the base. And in breathe. Allow your body to soften, connecting to your heart center, connecting to your breath, the breath of God that resides within you, the holy breath. Begin to imagine the Star of David, the Merkaba star, in the center of your brain. Breathing in. Begin to see it in its pale silver color, beginning to oscillate. In any direction is fine, whether you see it clockwise, counterclockwise, or sometimes both directions is perfectly fine. And as you see and feel it in motion, and when you're ready, you're going to, with the breath on the exhale, you're going to draw down that Merkaba symbol down through your column of light, through the spinal column, through the chakra centers, coming down through the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the navel, the sacral center, the root, going down through the perineum, all the way down into the core of the earth, the hub of the earth, the crystal core hub, where your divine blueprint, your 12-dimensional blueprint resides. And you're going to connect that Merkaba symbol to that very special port that is there just for you. And breathe in. And exhale. Allow your body to feel the connection. And just breathe in there and get acclimated there. There's no place to rush off to. Just be in your breath. Begin to see and visualize the Merkaba becoming and oscillating and becoming a platform or a disc shape. And it can move in any direction, clockwise, counterclockwise, or both. It's all the same. It's doing what exactly needs to do to find a harmonic place, a stabilizing force for you. This is your platform, your energy. Now begin on the next breath to draw it up, this Merkaba symbol, this disc of energy, below your feet, about 12 inches below your feet outside of the body. This is your Earth Star chakra. And begin to imagine the disc expand and expand and expand through the breath, through visualization, through your intention. The pale silver light color begins to expand. And you begin to raise the pillar of light around you that stems from this shield, this base shield, this platinum base shield of protection. And it's going to go up through your light column, through the center of your body. It's going to surround your body as it spirals, the energy spirals up, in, through, and around you. As the Merkaba continues to go up through the center of your column, your root, your sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye center, out through the crown, and about 3 feet above your head, the 13th chakra. You're going to expand that same disc, see it oscillating, feel it, breathe into it, and exhale, relaxing the body, completing the shield, visualizing the walls of the pillar of light connecting to that top shield. And it's okay if you don't see a full image, just imagine it and trust that it's there. And breathe here for a moment. Now imagine a cord, a silver cord connecting down to the earth, up in through the body, the navel center. Connecting there. And imagine that cord, your heart line, continuing up through the body, and you're going to connect to the heart of the earth, the cosmic heart. This is where you're anchoring your celestial self, your cosmic self. You're anchoring this light and connecting it in these 2 points, in the heavens and in the earth, as above, so below, and breathe. You may feel your body adjust and move and sway. That's perfectly fine. Through the breath, intend and visualize balance and harmony, stabilizing forces happening with your Merkaba system. And now you're going to imagine that light from the cosmic heaven, cosmic heart, coming back down in through your body and begin to stabilize into the physical body. And bring it into your 0 point field down into the navel. And breathe here. And just allow your breath to find its even rhythm. As you say to yourself, or out loud or to yourself, that you are, I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. This is connecting to your divine spark and expanding those energies within you. Breathe here. And just trust to the pale silver light that you're being cleared. And when you are ready, just return to the space that we are in, and you can continue this practice on your own.
Thank you for that connection. This is our connection to source energy, and connection to Gaia, and why it's so important. It really illustrates how we are connected to Gaia and the ascension journey like this. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Yes. And so then now, for people who'd like to learn more, you really have opened up some beautiful information for us, and we can see on this webpage that there's a beautiful 2 events coming up.
Yes.
And share with us what these are. Thank you.
Yes. In October 16th, it's hosting a 2-hour workshop where the primary focus will be doing this breathwork exercise, and just in a simple fashion, introducing yourself to connecting in this way to through the breath, through your pranic tube, and rebuilding that through the breath, using the power of your intention, visualization. And so that would also bring in a journal with you, so you can write down what you're experiencing and begin to notice how your body feels during this practice. And so that is, again, October 16th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And we'll go through this practice and exercise. And those of you that do attend, you'll get just a simple overview and of the auric field and the 12D shield for you to take with you, and you can read at your own leisure, because as you're experiencing here, there's so many components, and it will continue to evolve for you in your own practice. And so I look forward to just being with you during that time.
Beautiful. So I invite our viewers and listeners to scroll down on this webpage and check it out and see the wealth of information that awaits you. There's beautiful techniques and components that are included in this. And there's also a 4-week course that's available.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Following that, in November, there's a 4-week course. It's consecutive Sundays, and it'll be 2 hours from 11 to 1 Pacific time. And we'll take a deeper dive in what we've talked about here. And the nice thing about doing this for 4 weeks, when you commit to this practice for 30 days, you really begin to feel and notice the difference. So again, those that attend this, you'll get the overview of the auric field and the 12-dimensional shield and things we've talked about here. So you can review that on your own time and do your own exploration, right? This is your energy. This is your soul growth. This is you, right? So if something I'm saying ignites you and awakens you, perfect. If you see it slightly different, perfect. Just take note of that. But we're going to go through this practice so you can get comfortable in connecting with yourself and this technique, and then it becomes a little bit easier each time. But I feel in the 4 week that we'll be together, you'll begin to notice the subtle shifts in your emotional body, your mental body, your sleep, how you're handling your day to day. And then there'll be time for questions if you have them, or guidance if you need it, and how it's showing up for you in your own practice, because it's an organic thing for all of us, and it shows up differently. But when we can provide skill sets to support you in navigating your energy and reclaiming yourself, it's a really beautiful thing, because then you come together in a totally different way. It's more collaborative, and we're bringing in those collaborative and unifying energies within our body, and when we connect together as individuals and for the common purpose.
So beautiful. Thank you for offering this and presenting it to us today. So I just wanted to ask a question. If someone purchases the first course,
Mhm.
and they actually they want the 4-week course as well. Did you say that the first course is included in that, or are they separate?
Um, Basically, they're separate things, but if you say you do the first course and you want to move into the second one, um, I'm happy to offer what you paid for the first course and contribute that to the payment toward the second course, because we'll go over those things, but we're going to go deeper in the 4-week course with it. So um, I'm happy to honor that, because sometimes people are just going to explore. They're like, is this for me? And that's where the 2-hour workshop can come in. So I'm happy to offer that. If you come to the first one, that $55 can go toward the purchase of the 4-week course, which
Oh,
is $150, right? Or if you feel like I'm in for the 4-week course, you just do the 4-week course and know you'll still get what someone would have gotten just if they've taken the 2-hour workshop,
oh, I see. Okay.
right?
So they're really two different, they're two standalone things. They're going to get everything in the 4-week course, that not everything. They're going to get that introduction of the 2-hour course, and they're going to get that in the 4-week course. So actually,
Correct.
if someone gets the 4-week course, they can even come to the first event, because that's a nice precursor.
It's a
And
precursor.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so option 2 includes option 1 for those who are interested in that. As we know, the repetition helps us assimilate the information. So it's really beautiful. And it's a great
It does.
opportunity for those who just want to get their feet wet and learn about it, and then also explore more of it. So thank you for
Absolutely.
clarifying
Yeah.
and offering that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Wow, Gina, thank you so much for stepping into this with us and sharing this wisdom and accelerating the ascension journey for so many light workers. This is a new aspect of our energy for some. I mean, some could be familiar with this, but it's fascinating that you're giving us just the mechanics of the light body and how we can really maintain our energy and keep our energy clean and feel into our energy. It really is important at this time. And I want to say it helps us break free from the matrix and all that is influencing us in this matrix. And at a time like this on our planet, that's really important. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's an honor to do this work. It's sacred work. I feel it's very divine. Um, and this is the way I give back now, to be in service to uplift each other for those who want to raise themselves. Because I can't do this work for you, right? But I can help guide you into your practice.
Beautiful. Thank you for being that pillar of light and guiding us into our ascension. So for those who are watching and listening, you'll find the information on this webpage, or if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the link in the description box. Gina, thank you so much. As we say goodbye, I want to give you a moment for final thoughts.
Oh, final thoughts. Just know it's you're exactly where you're meant to be, and trust your heart. Um, and it's an honor to be here with all of you today. And I have so much love for all of you and in this experience, and it's very organic. So really, really show yourself some kindness and patience, and just be right where you are, be present, be in the now moment, and just be yourself. Don't be afraid to just be yourself, and it's okay.
Beautiful. All right. And remember, your 12D template is in the core of the earth. So beautiful, profound, and we love everyone. And thank you for this time. Gina, Lobito, thank you, thank you, thank you for this wisdom you shared today. Namaste. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.